Hello and welcome to Broughton. I've not posted for ages, for months, and I'm sorry for that, but it's been a very busy year or so. Had the time to do stuff on the railway, but not to be able to do a video and post. But still things have been progressing, and I thought I would do a little update and just show you what I've been working on over the last few months or so. This is the TMD area. This is the main scenic area that I've been working on. And we'll start over here. The shed's been in videos before, but I've now done all the concrete area, and in the last week painted and detailed all around that, and put lighting in the shed and some tools and shelving and things like that. There's a couple of men working around here. There's one there. There's one having a break just down there as well. I think I've shown my fueling points before, but they've now been put into place permanently, and I've got some men, you can just about see, working at that fueling point as well. Some details around the back, which includes some buffer beams, lights on them, and there's also an arc welding LED kit that's working in there as well at the moment. Down in this corner, someone spilt a barrel of fuel, not very good. I'll have to get some little men that can be there clearing that up. And I dug out one of my old petrol tankers from when I was a kid that's going to be positioned there. I'm going to have to weather that up and dirty it, and that's going to be delivering fuel to the fuel tanks there as well. Bought a couple of these cable drums at the all electric train show at Gaydon the other week. They were dead easy to cut out or laser cut and just paint up. A few bits of scrap metal that have appeared as well from work that's been done. Over this end, there's the kind of yard office, all lit up. I've put some paving in front of it, and there's a fence in front of it now with some weeds and bushes starting to grow in front of it. And then my grounded coach as well, which is just going to be used for storing stuff. Tarpauling over the far end as well, and some steps to get up into it. They were just taken from an old Hornby signal box from when I was a kid, so I took those off, stuck them on in front of the door so everyone, the crews, can get in, and things like that. Don't know how clear you can see, but it's mounted on some bricks with some old wooden sleepers to support it as well. Got another fueling point over here, no one working there at the moment as well, and a fuel discharge point as well for the larger locomotives to be able to pull in there. Once they have pulled into the shed area for servicing, etc., they can then back out here, discharge any old fuel, refuel, and they're ready to go again. Got a scrap area over here. Wasn't quite sure what to do with this little area by the wall, but I took apart one of my very old Lima locos that didn't work anymore. I'd hate to think how old that is, and dirtied the body up as scrap, removed the wheels, put some rust on it and some mould and mildew, wrote scrap on it, and then some of the parts from the motor and the bogie assembly and the chassis were cut up and have just been distributed for scrap as well. There's a little oil barrel, you can just about see it glowing there. Fire. I'm going to have to get a few men who can just be standing around it, keeping warm. Time of year for the layout is this kind of time, late October into November. Autumn started properly, so yeah, they're going to be keeping warm there a little bit. Over in front of the TMD, I've got my coaling area. I've shown this in a video before. Two men working hard, shoveling in the coal. Workman's hut there. I've got the sign for the coal yard, which is going to need to be put into place, and I'll do that once I don't need to be trying to clamber across to the back part of the layout anymore. Little weighbridge hut as well that I put in, and I bought some pillboxes as well the other week at Gaydon, and so one of them is just sitting there for the moment. Not sure if that's where it'll go permanently, but it's good enough there. There's a little walkway that I've put in to allow people to move from the TMD across to the coaling yard, or the coaling yard men who work there to be able to come across and get to work as well. Painted up part of it, need to put some warning signs on it and paint up the other half over here. That'll all be done in due course. This road along here is going to be called Western Boulevard. That's a road from Leicester, and the Great Central Railway went over the top of it as well. So this is going to be called Western Boulevard. I've got some industrial units down here. There's some of the scale scenes ones, and then Skelly's General Engineering is just plonked there and has been dirtied up and detailed and things like that. There's a space next to Skelly's, and I think I'm going to put some kind of car mechanics there, something like that will go there. Running over the top of Western Boulevard, the Great Central Railway had its famous bowstring bridge, which was demolished, I think about 99, 2000, something like that. Actually maybe later than that, I'm not quite sure. Anyhow, that's my representation of it so far, where the outer loop just crosses over the main loop on the lower level and goes into a tunnel there, and then behind the big retaining wall that builds up the back seam to the layout as well. Across the top here I wanted to put in an abandoned siding area, so I did this earlier in the summer. Got some inspiration from a one of the magazines I get. Had an old Toad that I didn't want to use anymore, again from when I was a kid, so really dirtied it up, and then it's got lots of bushes growing over it, and then as the siding comes in it gets really overgrown in there, and then there's some abandoned bricks and bits of stuff that are just sat in there. This is another little part of Western Boulevard that I put together over the summer with the little some little kits, free kits that I found on the internet that I altered and customised and put together. There's a red light in the top window, not quite sure what's going on in there, but you might just be able to see. Looks like the figure of a woman in there, least said the better, I think. And then a little warehouse kit that I did. This was scratch built, and it was my first go at doing stuff out of plasticard. Bought a few sheets and some window frames, and quite pleased with what I came up with, and got a little light in there. his skellies in a little bit more detail. Quite a bit going on. Someone working just inside behind that door. Someone there having a quick fag on his brake, and I'm not sure how clear it will be, but there's just a little cat, the engineering cat, no that's not focusing in, who's just sitting there on that crate. This is the most recent bit I've been working on. This is Belgrave Road. Again, quite a famous, well-known road around Leicester. Had a station there for the Great Central Railway in its heyday. The station that's now there is Leicester North for the Great Central Heritage Railway. So this is going to be Belgrave Road. Have my Metcalf station in place with some lighting that I've put in. A couple of passengers sitting down, and then a couple more buildings that I've put together as well over the summer to go along here, and maybe one more to go off at the far. Found a couple of these bus stops online. They were free to download as well, so I've put that one together there, and then, excuse my hand, another little one just there that will go on the other side of the road outside the station for passengers on their way home, come off the station and be able to get on their bus to be able to get home. Got a post office, that's one of the buildings I put together. Need to put some lights in that one. Little low relief Metcalf building, I think I got that free with a magazine ages and ages and ages ago. So that one's gone in there. Then we've got the Home and Colonial store, the hardware store. The Albion pub has gone in, and then some groceries as well. And the road leads round to the bridge there, which I've got to finish off. Just need to finish off the retaining walls that run all the way along here. Just a little bit more to do at this side, just to finish those off as well. I think the next thing that I need to work on and complete is the very top loop along here, across the back of the big retaining wall and the archways. I've got some of it in place, and I've started to put a little bit of a back seam together. Need to tidy that up a little bit, fill in where the screws are and just some gaps, and get some more detail added onto that. I can then ballast this track along the top and going round there, and once this bit's all finished off, that means I can then finish adding all the tiny little details around the engine shed, the brewery, and along Western Boulevard as well. Because to be able to get up to this bit here and give you an idea, I've got to be able to climb on to the baseboards here, and that's fine because I can move most of the little buildings out of the way so they don't get in the way. And I've got some foam insulation that I put down to kneel on, but it is a bit of a pain being able to get up to here. So the sooner I can finish this bit off along the back, the better. And then the cutting for the large loop goes down here in front of the wall, between the brewery and the wall. So that all needs ballasting now and finishing off. And there's a little bit of wall there that I just need to be able to work on to finish off that little gap just there. And that means I can work on all of this area again down here and put the little details like little people to walk along the footpath, the street lights that I've got to go in there, and that kind of thing as well. And then I can finish off working on the brewery bit. I did this grass round here just yesterday, I'm going to put some load of bushes so it looks really overgrown, and then loads more barrels and things that are waiting to be collected as well, and then some fencing to divide the brewery from the TMD area as well. I think the final thing I can show you is I started this week putting a little bit of a control board together for the lighting and different effects and things like that. I've got one main switch for the whole DCC bus now with the power indicator, and I've got that wired in, so if there's a problem on the track that flashes for me as well and will notify me straight away. And then these switches are just for the different areas of lighting. I want to be able to light different parts of the layout at different times for taking photos and for filming and things like that. So this one here controls all the lights for the TMD and Western Boulevard area. You can see them just come on. So that does all of that area, and the other switch does Belgrave Road area and all the lighting there at the moment. So I want to have different sections of lighting put together that I can control independently as well. And then finally at Skelly's, the engineering place, I've got a little arc welding kit that when my kids come up with their friends, they can play with that and get it going, and I'll just show you that working very, very quickly. You can see it flashing there. I like doing little fun things like that will help entertain my kids and some of their friends. Well, they just love coming up and playing as well. So I think that pretty much brings you up to date with what I've been working on around Broughton. Quite a bit of detail now being added, which is good, and this section round here now, Western Boulevard and the TMD area and the brewery, I really like. This is the first scenic bit that I did, and I'm going to keep working on it until I get it completed before I move on to other bits of the layout as well. But really pleased with how this one's coming together now. It's really starting to look the part, I think. I love it, absolutely love it. And I can quite often just come up here and just sit and watch the trains go round and round, and watch this all being lit up as well. It'd be good to get all that back bit done. I think my aim is to try and get that finished by Christmas, and that will then mean that I can spend a little bit of time at Christmas finishing off everything down here as well. Well, I think that's it from me then on this video. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to comment or subscribe as well. Let me know your thoughts on what I've done so far, and maybe give me some pointers on where I could go next. There's still loads to do though. Thanks for watching then. Speak to you soon. Bye now.